You know, in a world of tech that tries to be for everybody, what happens when a product decides to be for a very specific somebody? Well, today we're going to dive into the story of Vivaldi, a web browser that was literally built from a rebellion against making things too simple. It's kind of a weird question to ask, isn't it? I mean, tech companies are always trying to streamline and simplify everything. But what happens to the people who actually want more? More control, more features, more power? Well, it turns out that exact frustration is what sparked a full-on rebellion in the browser world. So, to really get Vivaldi, you first have to understand what went down with Opera. For years, Opera was the browser for power users. People loved it for its unique features. But then it switched its engine to the same one Chrome uses, and poof, a lot of those beloved features just vanished, leaving its most loyal fans completely stranded. But this wasn't just a few users grumbling and moving on. Oh no, this was the spark for something entirely new. That feeling of being abandoned is what directly led to the creation of a new browser, one that was designed to pick up right where the old Opera left off. So who was behind this rebellion? Well, in a twist that's almost like something out of a movie, it wasn't just some random developer. It was the co-founder of Opera himself, John von Tetzchner. He was genuinely upset by the direction his old company had taken, so he decided, you know what, I'm going to build a new home for the community that got left behind. And this timeline just shows you how fast it all happened. In March 2014, the My Opera community site gets shut down. By the end of that same year, the Vivaldi community rises from the ashes. A month after that, the first test version of the browser is out, and by April 2016, Vivaldi 1.0 is officially here. It was an incredibly fast response to a very clear problem. But here's the thing, Vivaldi isn't just a grab bag of old features from another browser. Right from the very beginning, it was built on a really clear, almost defiant philosophy about what the web should be and who should control it. And just listen to the language they use here. They don't say they're making a browser, they say they're fighting. That's not just some slick marketing. It frames their entire mission as this David versus Goliath story, a direct challenge to the giants that pretty much run our online world. So how do they wage that fight? Well, it's all organized around these three core pillars that define the whole Vivaldi experience. It's meant to be powerful, giving you all the tools you could ever want, personal, letting you mold the browser to your exact needs, and private, protecting you right out of the box. Let's break those down. Okay, first up, powerful. If you're someone who lives with, dozens or, let's be real, maybe hundreds of open tabs, Vivaldi is specifically designed to help you tame that absolute chaos. And this gives you a little taste of how they do it. You can stack tabs into neat little groups, you can tile them to see multiple pages side by side in a split screen, you can even create totally separate workspaces to keep your work stuff and your fun stuff apart. And maybe the best part for your poor computer, you can put tabs you're not using to sleep to free up resources. It's brilliant. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The user feedback really says it all. This user, Bobby Light, says his overwhelmed tab brain has completely disappeared. That just goes to show you, for a certain type of person, these features aren't just nice little extras, they're a total game changer. Okay, so beyond just managing all your tabs, Vivaldi's whole philosophy extends to the very look and feel of the browser. And that brings us to its other two pillars, personal and private. And really, they're two sides of the same coin, which is the idea that you should have the final say over both your experience and your data. On the personal side, Vivaldi is an absolute dream for anyone who loves to tinker. I mean, you can move the tab bar to the bottom, the side, wherever you want. You can move the address bar, you can change themes, colors, you name it. The whole goal is to let you build a browser that works exactly the way your brain works. A review from Wired just nailed it, calling Vivaldi the Emacs of web browsers. Now, you don't have to know what Emacs is. Just know that in the coding world, it's legendary for being something you can customize endlessly. That's some seriously high praise, and it shows that Vivaldi is a serious tool for people who want control. All right, now let's talk privacy, because this is a huge difference. With most browsers, you have to go hunting for extensions to block ads and trackers. Vivaldi builds that stuff right in from the start. As you can see, their entire model is different. No profiling you for ads, and key features like syncing your data are encrypted from end to end by default. So, after hearing all that, it should be pretty clear. Vivaldi was never meant to take over the world. Its mission has always been to serve that specific group of people that other browsers just kind of forgot about. And that group isn't as small as you might think. Vivaldi has about 3.5 million active users. Now sure, in a world of billions, that's still a niche,
but it's a really dedicated and growing community that proves there's a real hunger for a browser that does more.
Honestly, I don't think I could say it any better than Vivaldi did with their own slogan from their very first launch. Not for everybody, just you. It just perfectly captures their entire reason for being. They're not trying to be the simplest or the most popular browser, just the absolute best one for the people who need it.
And that really leaves us with one last question to chew on. The story of Vivaldi kind of forces us to look at the tools we use every single day and ask ourselves, are they serving us or are we serving them? It challenges us to think a little harder about what we should really be demanding from our window to the web.